Okay, Helma is here and she is plugging up the hole so that the embers can get in. This is our last hope we have. The fire is coming over the hill slowly but surely, and we are going to wet the whole thing and hopefully no ember will get into these little air holes. Not too hard, Helma? Yeah, that's fine, that's good, great. Yeah, Helma is our fire person. Good. Okay, enough for that. The picture talks by itself. I am connected. Here our fire hose has proof that we tried to do everything we could. They are connected to the fire hydrant. It's awful what you see now. The fire must be in our big rock area already. I'm a little excited. The picture is probably shaky. Fire helicopter. The wind is blowing pretty hard. It probably creates its own wind. Okay, I think I have to go and turn the water on the fire hose on the hydrant so that I have some water in the hose. I will go on the roof and try to save the house. An awesome picture, all I can tell you. We plugged up all the holes in the house and sprinkled them with water so that the air cannot pull in some of these embers. Hopefully. The time in this picture is wrong. It is 4:25 p.m.
It's 5:25.
Oh, correction, 5:25.
Oh no, you're right.
My sergeant recorrected it, so my time was correct. So it is 4:25. at that. Just smell it. I can't believe it.
I'm sitting in the motorhome. And I think the plastic pipe is burning. It's burning all around us. The house with a closed-in pool. Bob and Rosie's Triplet. Dr. Harris. Dr. Harris.
Engine 42, charge the supply line. 42, charge the supply line.
All gone. Sparks too. Oh, you're still there. Motorhome is still there.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir. There's a house, there's a light,
Okay.
and the motorhome lights are on. I left them on.
See? This fire looks like it's
Fuel tender 1, 1400 Alpha.
down, huh?
Oh, you guys, you did it.
Let's hope so.
Oh,
We put a lot of effort in that one.
boy. Okay. Sparks on this here.
Engine 32, engine 53. You got a rock in your left rear dual. Copy. Will we have to stop, take it out, or we think it'll kick itself out?
Good, Major. Jim and Nancy Abrahams. Oh. Ken Shire's house. Charge the other battery.
No, I'm going to.
Ken and Jeanette Shire.
Ken and Jeanette Shire.
Wäre schon recht gut.
But how do you want to get it out?
Mit der Schaufel oder so. No, I think it's okay.
So no trash can, no nothing with water.
No, no, nur ein kleiner Bucket hier.
Oh, one bucket. Did you empty it already?
Ja? No.
Did you,
Ich kann.
war vielleicht auf den einen Balken, wo du denkst, mal.
Das sind wir schon wieder, siehst du?
Ja. Kannst du den, can you move it, kind of push it over here? Maybe with a garden tool?
No. That's it.
What did you say?
Der Stein hart.
Okay. You better watch out, Maud.
Oh ja.
Well, if the wind stays that way,
Was ist?
if the wind stays that way,
Ja, ja.
Juergen,
Yes.
yeah?
you okay?
Yes.
Yeah?
We do.
Oh,
I'm
great!
Get to the top.
I'm glad. But this is burning here. Rosie, your beautiful home. I'm so sorry for you. The Shire House. I'm a little shaky. Sorry about that. Neighbor, neighbor, schon wieder ins Haus. time now is almost 5 o'clock. I hope that the pine trees don't catch fire, because there are more pine trees. On the left side we see another little fire. One bush caught fire and the fire department just drives by. They cannot stop this fire. Nobody can. Just the roof caved in and produced a tremendous amount of heat. Unbelievable. That could have been my house too. Poor Rosie. Oh God. There comes the morning breeze. The wind shifts over to the right, which is eastern direction, and the clouds are going to the other side. I hope you can see it. It's a good sign, because in front of them is nothing to burn. Here we had a chance to burn the pine trees or even the high tension wire power pole there. It's my little standby generator. The fire department shows up. They're still patrolling the area. That's very nice. Thank you. Coming.
Jennifer. There's a gully, I think, right there to the east of our screen there, to the right of our screen, Dave. That gully there, or we just moved off it. In any event, that is very close to some homes, but I do see fire units scattered all in and out of these surface streets here, just above Pacific Coast. That's the canyon I was talking about, the gully there, where it is really ablaze. And just south of that, as you can see, giving you a great shot now, those are homes there. But again, fire units placed in and out of those streets.
We might repeat at the home of Charles Bronson, we understand, was burned. George C. Scott fled his home. They were both up in the Sarah Retreat area. And as we mentioned before, this is a fire that, you know, it takes everything. The wealthy homes, the poorer homes, the wealthy and the disadvantaged. It does not discriminate as to where it goes and to what it consumes. It's a frightening, awesome sight.
Jennifer, just to the bottom of your screen there, if Dave could pan down, we see people along it. Is that a home?
That is a home.
Yeah.
I believe those were firefighters.
That were just to the left, yeah, at one point.
And you can see all the brush has been cleared away from there, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's a Jeep there in the driveway.
It looks, it's hard to see with the smoke. They may not have left
the area yet.
No, as a matter of fact, it looks like that person had his video camera out. Now they've decided maybe it's time to go. Let's hope so.
Now, to the left of that house, to the west and south, the flames have already curled around and are approaching the community below this house on the hill there. So there's fire to the southwest of that home and to the north of that home.
Jennifer, we have a request for you to clarify the position, where you are, what we are viewing. Are you on the ocean side or the valley side?
Yes, sir, we're on the ocean side, the south side of the fire, just near the intersection of Las Flores Canyon Road and PCH.
Are you east or west?
Las Flores, huh?
Yeah, are you east or west of Las Flores, Jennifer?
We're east. We're east, and we are showing, is that a home? That could possibly be a couple homes there. We are just, again, what we're showing you is about a half a mile north of PCH, this small patch of homes here. That looks as if that is a house burning.
It does.
That is a house.
Yeah, it sure does.
Again, this is just a...
Now, this is as the fire is coming south toward the ocean.
Exactly, and we are over the ocean showing you a shot. If you were swimming looking out towards the hills of Malibu, that is what you would see. And we're about half a mile to a mile east of Las Flores Canyon Road.
Has the fire progressed now farther east from Las Flores Canyon Road to Topanga Canyon?
It seems as though... yes, a little bit, Hal. Not as much as it's traveling north.
In other words, going over the ridge, above Saddle Peak, over the other side, down toward 101.
Yes, that's where it seems to be traveling. But again, yes, it has traveled east a little bit. And again, as we mentioned, there are quite a few fire units on the ground here, interspersed between the homes. Many ground units parked in the driveway of the homes on this hill just above Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah, we saw one person down there trying to fight that blaze. We don't know if that's a firefighter or a resident.
Are we going to lose the shot? Okay. Do we have to get out of this area as well? Okay.
Are you being limited to that?
No, it's tough to try and get into this area with the camera itself, trying to focus on some of the homes here.
Now you're at PCH, right?
Yes.
Now they seem to be moving out. Were they?
This is a street, I'm sorry, this is a street above PCH. Let's show them first PCH, and then we'll show them that street to give them an idea of what the scope of what we're talking about here. Now,
oh, I see. Yeah.
Now that is PCH to the left, and it trails down, okay? Now the hillside there is right above Pacific Coast Highway. That, as I mentioned, it seemed to have kind of backtracked on itself. It seemed to have burned down to the highway and now is heading back north. As I mentioned, it seemed like the fire itself was heading north altogether. And this is a community right above Pacific Coast, and this is a surface street where there are quite a few ground units.
Okay. Jennifer, I think this might be above Big Rock Beach.
We're about, well, yes, exactly. We are about a mile east of Las Flores Canyon Road, so that would put us right there by Big Rock Beach.
Yeah, just north of Big Rock Beach.
And there are quite a few small surface streets that wind around here.
Right, with quite a few homes, I'm sure. Do
we have a fire tornado? We're going to show you now the ridge above that's just a blaze of these this community of homes here north of Big Rock Beach. Now let's pan down to the homes after we show you that the top of the ridge. Let's pan down to the homes if we can, Dave, and show them how close these homes are. Just go directly south. There you go. Those are homes that are threatened. And again, the lines on the middle of the TV screen, those are all fire units.
All fire units, right.
That's just a solid wall of fire.
Wall.
Yeah,
it's incredible. The heat generating from that, I'm sure, is just unbelievable.
Again, south of this community, it was as if it was spared the first time around, because south of this, there are charred hillsides towards touching PCH. So it's amazing. It's as if it kind of looped itself around and now gone up trying to attack this community. It's quite interesting.
So in other words, you're saying that sort of along PCH south of this community was burned, and now the fire is approaching it from the north.
Yes, exactly. They were able to put the southern end of this fire out along Pacific Coast Highway, but at the northern end of this area is still burning, as you can see. And it's tough to see exactly if it's traveling south or north. It looks like it's traveling in both directions at this point.
Well, we do have a situation, I think, which is traditionally called a firestorm in that area. It's just creating its own tremendous holocaust and heat, and there's nothing that you can do to stop that until it burns itself out and loses the fuel. And obviously they're not going to make a stand at that point at this time.
No. I'm watching.
Not up in there.
Yes, there are quite a few ground units from Pacific Coast Highway approaching that area. I can see quite a few. I'll try to get the exact street for you. It looks as if it's either it could be Big Rock Drive that meets with Pacific Coast Highway. In any event, they're leaving Pacific Coast, and yeah, we'll see if we can pan down and show you all this activity here. That is right at the intersection. It might be Big Rock Drive and PCH, and that is how they're entering that area, that community of homes. They're getting onto Big Rock and traveling northwest up to those homes. Again, we are over the ocean, showing you a shot as if you were swimming in the ocean looking to the hills of Malibu.
Okay, now you are looking once again, is that to the north, or is that up? Yeah.
Northwest, yes. That is, we're showing you the hills of Malibu from the ocean. To the east of us is Santa Monica, and to the west of us is Pepperdine, and to the north, of course. Okay, we're going to focus on some homes here, I'm being told. Very close to homes. And look at those palm trees. The wind is just racing at incredible speeds there towards around that community there.
Right, that's what I was referring to as creating its own climate and its own meteorological conditions, because the velocity of that wind is far greater than what's existing like out in the San Fernando Valley or at Santa Monica, just a few miles away.
Probably doubled or tripled in speed. And Hal, you're right. It's tough to say. That's why it's tough for me to tell you exactly which way this fire is blowing. It seems like it's going every which way right now.
Right. I mean, look at those palm trees. It's not just the palm fronds, but it's the trees themselves that are being bent over.
Yes.
So, I mean, you have to estimate the winds there probably gusting somewhere around 50 miles an hour.
Yes, most definitely.
And yet you figure at Van Nuys, a few miles away, it's out of the northwest at 15 miles an hour.
Now let's show them how close, though, the ground units are to this situation, Dave. Can we show them? Not far away at all. There you are. There are just incredible amount of ground units ready to try and attack this. So they're doing the best they can to get into that area, which does make an incredible difference, especially at night.
You think that might be Big Rock Canyon Road?
I think perhaps it is, yes. It could also be Jones Road. I'm looking here. Looks like either Jones or Big Rock, perhaps Seaboard Road. All off again, just north of Big Rock Beach.
Yeah, there we see it. And that is a densely populated area,
yes.
right above PCH. I recall that area quite well.
Would you like us to now continue to travel to the north end of the fire to see what is happening there, or would you like us to remain? In fact, we might have to go refuel. What is that? We're fine. Okay, we're still fine with fuel.
Okay, it appears now as though that fire is really coming down there at a rapid rate.
We'll stay on this for you and show you. This looks like the front yard or the backyard of this home. the fire is just blazing down that hillside there.
It appears as though you're fairly low altitude.
Yeah, actually we are. What, about 1,000? Actually 500-600 feet.
Uh-huh. And the way that terrain rises, you're practically level with the house.
That is exactly right, Hal, yes. We're even kind of getting thrown around up here.
You're getting a lot of turbulence?
Yeah, yes we are. Surprising.
Yes, it doesn't look too long before that fire reaches that home at all.
We're going to climb a little bit here.
Yeah, you don't want to get the effects of that firestorm.
Yes.
That'll really throw you around.
Let's see if we can show them any other homes that, Dave, that could be threatened. Are there any along that ridge there towards the, yeah, pan to the left and see if there's any. As we mentioned, there are quite a few homes in this pocket. I'm sorry?
Jennifer, that is Big Rock Canyon Road.
Okay.
And that's where those units are, and that's what you're photographing right now.
Yes. Again, there are many small curvy surface streets in and out of Big Rock, as well as quite a few homes. As before, we've seen them fight this type of a situation, parking one or two units in each driveway of the home. But I have not really seen that. I've seen them just kind of stand by on Big Rock Road and some of the other larger surface streets here. There's a person there.
Oh, yes.
I believe it's a fireman. Is that a fireman?
Looks as though he may have a helmet on. We certainly hope at least it's a firefighter.
Look at the winds. Again, this fire has been burning now since just before 11 this morning. It's charred over 20,000 acres. Of course, that's just an estimate. I'm sure it's quite a bit more than that. We watched the hillsides of Las Flores Canyon become fully engulfed in flames, and now we're watching this area just north of Big Rock Beach, just north of Pacific Coast Highway.
Now, how far would you estimate you are from the ocean?
Oh, we're just, let's pan down and show them that. That is maybe about 3/4 of a mile from the ocean, maybe a mile from the ocean, but that's the ocean, the dark part, right below the line of lights, which are fire units parked along Pacific Coast Highway. So as you can see, we're really not that far at all. It looks farther on your screen than it actually is.
I think that there's no way of stopping this before it gets down to PCH.
Well, no, but again, how this fire has worked its way around to the west of this community and to the south of the community, burning the hillsides below this community.
Right.
Which was rather interesting, because now it is again north of the community. They were able to put this the south end of this fire out that approached Pacific Coast Highway. So most of that area has already been burned below this community. There's another hot spot there too. Do you see that, Dave? That's right. That might be a home. See if we can pan south of that. Do you see that? I think that might be a home there. I think it's to the other opposite direction, the opposite direction of the fire trucks. There you go. I don't know what that is.
Sure, right there now in the middle of the screen.
That could possibly be a home.
Oh yeah, I think that you can see the chimney. I think on the far end of the
yes, that's a home burning.
Yeah.
Jennifer,
I think that's the first home we've seen now in this burning in this community here.
Jennifer, we've just been informed that as we are viewing the situation here, and with a slight change in the wind, as you pointed out, that fire was heading north. We've just been informed that it has also jumped Malibu Canyon Road.
It has.
And, yes, and on the west side of Malibu Canyon Road, that's the Hughes Research Complex, and also Pepperdine University.
Which we thought earlier had been spared. Remember how we were talking about that? So it must be traveling southwest again.
Right, with this change, the fire did jump that road.
Okay, we can go over to that area as soon as you'd like us to.
Yeah, well, if you could, I think this situation, we have a pretty good idea of what's happening here. If you could take a look at what's happening at Pepperdine University and Hughes, that might give us a good insight into what's happening on the west end of that fire.
Okay, we're going to try and cut across the top, heading a little north now of the ocean itself. We'll show you again this eastern ridge that is burning. It seems to be, as we approach the inland area, it seems that it's more or less stabilized on the east, but...
Okay, I'll tell you what, Jennifer. Wait. Okay.
Go ahead,
we were thinking that maybe we would I'm not sure of the location of Steve Lentz's helicopter. He might be closer to Pepperdine, but I'm getting a position report on him right now. So maybe if you can kind of hold your position and give us what's happening on this east end, we'll wait until we hear from Steve and get a location on him.
Okay, so we'll remain in this area.
Yeah, that would be good.
We have some new information here in terms of the... I don't know if there have ever been this many roads closed. They have closed all roads. This is between Pacific Coast Highway and the 101 and PCH from Sunset Boulevard to Las Posas.
With a steady hand, she watched and recorded as fire ate up home after home after home in her neighborhood, eventually moving on to hers.
We're seeing now the Dr. Harris's house.
But Helma and Juergen refused to leave. They knew they were prepared. They had lined their home with fire-retardant plants. They had cleared brush and debris. It acted as a natural fire break along the hillside.
I never thought of leaving. And it didn't come in my mind.
The Cords have fire insurance, but if their home had burned down, they would have never been able to build again. That's because this home is in a landslide area, a red zone, and if it had burned down, no permits would have been given to start again.
There are many people who would like to forget this horrible fire, but for the Cords, a videotaped memory is a reminder that planning and perseverance often pay off. In Malibu, Kimberly Moreau, Channel 9 News.
The Cords thank the firefighters who helped save their home. No surprise, they videotaped that too.
Southern California firefighters say more fires like this, deliberately set in the spring and summer months, could prevent devastating fires from erupting in the fall.
Right here, we're going to leave that house.
But firefighters complain weather, environmental concerns, and homeowner resistance prevent 95% of planned ground-clearing controlled burns.
We need to use every means available to us to try to slow down or stop wildfire. And prescribed burns is one of the methods we can use.
A year ago this spring, California Department of Forestry wanted to burn brush to open a fire break here in the mountains above Topanga Canyon. But a group of local homeowners opposed to the burn went to court and succeeded in blocking it.
It would have damaged an oak tree area, which might not have come back. There's a sensitive species, the coast horned lizard, that would have been burned up. You don't want to ever say no controlled burns, but all we're asking is that people work together, that the fire department not put what they consider public safety ahead of erosion and some of the other problems.
Controlled burns offer only some protection to homes built in brushland areas. Homeowners themselves are supposed to clear land around their houses, but many don't.
They build a house, don't clear around it, put wood shakes and shingles on the roof, that if a fire does come through, there isn't enough fire engines in the world to save their house.
How close is the flame? How close is the flame? Right on the house. Right there, right on the concrete.
Juergen and Helma Cords watched and videotaped the firestorm that swept over their house. Their home survived, they say, because of firefighters' luck and their own good preparation.
This year, since we had last year a little bit rain coming, the growth was tremendous, and I cut it down twice. I tried to get down to the bare ground and leave only trees. I had ice plants up the front. They just underneath it glows. It burns very slow, but it doesn't come to a normal flame.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel today looking at your house and your neighbor's house?
Like Christmas.
But despite ground clearing, a neighbor's house burned to the ground.
And apparently the deck caught fire, and that's what got the house burning.
Firefighters and homeowners might be able to improve their chances, but fire risk is part of the cost of living in Southern California's brushland canyons. Don Knapp, CNN, Los Angeles.
Wochen die Villen von Prominenten in den Bergen um Los Angeles brannten, widerstand ein Haus dem flammenden Inferno. Darin wohnte, wie könnte es anders sein, ein deutsches Ehepaar. Vor allem dem fleißigen Gebrauch der Gießkanne ist zu verdanken, dass die Gartenzwerg-Idylle erhalten blieb. Ein Bericht von Marion Renk-Richardson. So einsam hatten sich die beiden Deutschen ihre Nachbarschaft im Canyon von Malibu nicht vorgestellt. Jetzt hat ihr Bungalow als einziger in der Gegend dem kalifornischen Feuersturm getrotzt. Selbst die Pflanzenwelt ist wieder happy, wenn Helma mit der Gießkanne kommt. Die Mit-40erin hat das durchlebte Inferno literarisch verarbeitet. Am Morgen nach dem Grauen verfasste sie ein Gedicht.
Das Leben geht weiter, auch nach so einem schrecklichen Erlebnis. Und ich habe es genannt Life. We go here and we go there. Do we really go anywhere? So much to attend, so much to do. Are you really living or do you only rush through? Take a break more often and start enjoying what you do. Today and tomorrow, life should be enjoyed, not only rushed through.
Mit der Macht der Poesie allein waren die Flammen natürlich nicht aufzuhalten. Geprägt von mehr als 20 Jahren Amerika, griff Ehemann Juergen zunächst einmal zur Videokamera, das feindliche Feuer im Visier. Am frühen Nachmittag des 2. November kamen die Qualmwolken bedrohlich nah. Doch Helma und Juergen Kortz wollten ausharren. Schließlich ist ihr Haus ordentlich aus Stein gebaut und hat Kieselsteine auf dem Dach. Erst als die uneinsichtige Polizei mit Festnahme droht, weicht das deutsche Paar.
Nachdem das Feuer hier hinter unserem Berg durchgezogen war und wir beinahe dachten, das wäre alles vorbei, dann kam es von dem Big Rock Drive hoch und hatte erst eins von diesen Nachbarhäusern erwischt und das hatte für 3 Stunden gebrannt und dann hat es direkt unser Nachbarhaus erwischt und das hatte auch sehr lange gebrannt. Und zu dieser Zeit ist die Feuerwehr, hatte sie kein Wasser mehr und dann mussten wir evakuieren. Wir durften aber nichts mitnehmen.
Zuvor aber hat Helma die Kameraregie übernommen. Gatte Juergen, Mechaniker bei VW in Santa Monica, läuft und läuft, um sein privates Katastrophenprogramm zu absolvieren. Notstromaggregat anschmeißen, Mülltonnen mit Wasser füllen, Schläuche ausrollen, den Gegner beobachten. Auch die Rückeroberung der feuerumtosten Heimstatt ist completely durchorganisiert.
In einer Stunde waren wir wieder zurück, obwohl uns die Feuerwehr gesagt hatte, wir sollten nicht wieder zurückgehen. Und mein Mann hatte gesagt, er möchte gerne zurück. Ich sagte, probier's. Es war nicht leicht, because unsere Straße war vollkommen abgesperrt. Aber mit seinem grünen Anzug vom Bundesgrenzschutz hat er sich da durchgeschlichen.
60 Minuten harrt Juergen allein aus, dann holt er auch Helma wieder heim. Gemeinsam beobachtet man, wie das Haus von Nachbarin Rosi abfackelt.
Rosie, your beautiful home. I'm so sorry for you.
Explosionsartig wird es in dieser Nacht immer einsamer um Helma und Juergen. Die Dokumentation der Katastrophe wird zur Qual.
Es war sehr rauchig, es war auch sehr heiß, aber mein Mann hatte mir vorher eine Plastikbrille gegeben, die ich getragen hatte über diese Brille. Ich hatte auch so ein Taschentuch um den Mund, welches sich immer feucht hielt. Wir hatten 6 Abfalltonnen mit Wasser ums Haus verteilt, wo ich immer mich kind of nass machen konnte, wenn ich wollte. Und ja, manchmal sind meine Bilder auf dem Video sehr rauchig und man sieht beinahe gar nichts von unserem Grundstück.
Morgens um 6 scheint die unmittelbare Gefahr gebannt. Die beiden gehen ins Bett. Wenig später kann man befriedigt die Ergebnisse der nächtlichen Pionierarbeit in Augenschein nehmen. Tier- und Pflanzenwelt so gut wie okay.
Für 10 Jahre haben wir dieses Hobby, Bienen zu halten und wir haben auch sehr guten Honig davon schon bekommen. Zu einer Zeit ist das Dach von den Bienen in Feuer gewesen und mein Mann konnte Wasser darauf spritzen. Ansonsten haben wir in unserem Garten viele Pflanzen, die wenig Wasser brauchen, unter anderem Yuccas und Agaves. Das sind Agaven, die wunderbar eine Feuerbreak gemacht haben.
Die gartenzwergmäßige Bewältigung der Katastrophe hat nur einen kleinen Schönheitsfehler. Auch das hat Helma auf Video festgehalten. Die Sache mit dem Schlauch. Lange schon brannte Juergen darauf, das feuerfeste Löschgerät zum Einsatz zu bringen. Leider war im entscheidenden Moment die Wasserzufuhr irgendwie unterbrochen. Egal. Für Helma gibt es nur einen Local Hero, ihren Kalifornier Juergen aus Lübeck.
Ich habe keine starken Nerven, aber mein Mann an meiner Seite und alles war fein.
Jetzt ist Juergen erstmal weg, zur Jagd in den Bergen. Aufräumen ist schließlich Frauensache.
Count them.
Oh my, no, I mean the 4 hives, sweetheart. No. Doris and Chester Janis. I think they're one of the lucky ones. Tried yesterday to, distinguish the fire. It's still smoldering, sweetheart. Still smoldering.
I used all the water I could find.
Yeah, there was only 1 bucket, was it?
No, yeah, 1 bucket and 1 animal feeding place, I guess.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh.
This is the Nichols' house. She wasn't there, but lucky.
That's all Little Rock.
On Little Rock Way. From Big Rock Mesa up to the Court's house.
Up to the Santa Monica Mountains.
Ich kann doch nicht Luft. Aber wie-Haus?
Ich werde nicht von dir erzählen, das interessiert keinen. Okay. Chuck Peterson's house on Rock Point.
It's intact, it's a
It's
fire
unbelievable.
went there.
One short car.
Had a bit of water, yeah. There was no water over here, so they left. See, they were there. They were just right here.
Herb
and then
Tannen.
they just left. They said,
Herb
"We can't stay
Tannen's
with no
house.
water." So
The hill in front of him.
it's okay.
We are on the end of Rock Point. One house completely burned. The hills behind it completely burned.
Like a machine shop.
That's where the fire came over. Completely burned. Next to it, another house. Completely burned. The hills all burned. That's where my husband saw, where Mr. Court saw the flames coming over. Cindy Dennis on Old Seaboard Road. Another pool area above Cindy Dennis. Ken Shire's house above Big Rock area. Big Rock, the needle curve. The end of Little Rock. bucket has sunk down completely.
Yeah, the bucket is under.
Now it's coming up again. There's a boat in the back, a bigger boat.
Supposed to carry 3,000 gallons.
What kind of a plane is that?
That is a Huey H-47 helicopter.
Larry Anderson on Big Rock. Larry and Lorraine. Bob and Rosie Strickland on Big Rock. Still smoldering. Above Big Rock. We sure didn't want to be caught by surprise. We planted some succulents all over the place. We had a fireman's fire hose, which on the end didn't have any water, but we had it. We have ice plants on the hill. We have oleanders, which did okay. Our pine trees were cut on the bottom. We saw them smoldering around the stumps, but they held up very well. The house on the left side of Big Rock, below the Cordson's house. Mike's back. Lucky man. That was a draining system for the hill. 20-some inch, a PVC black pipe. Tremendous smoke. The fireman warned me not to breathe it because it's cancerous. Here again my succulents, which held up very well.
You want to ride?
Sure. No, we went to the house, looked, she saw it open, to make sure everything was okay. We didn't know if nobody had a heart attack or anything else.
You're too young for a heart attack. The day after, Doris, Janice, and Chester's house is smoldering, but I think it's on the outside of the railroad. We looked yesterday in the evening, or this morning, it was 5 o'clock. The railroads were smoldering. They had no fire, but Jürgen found a bucket and we did the best.
talking about the horrible experience. We stayed with our house all the time, from the beginning to the end. The fire was going right and left. And naturally, this is something we will not forget. Here we have Jim and Nancy Abrahams. The Court's house. We're the lucky ones. Boy, we fought for it. Everybody else was gone. We were there, but we had the fire department right on our side. These are the mountains. Is that east of Big Rock? I hope I got that right.
Yeah.
This is in back of the court's house. Everything is sharp. It was a tremendous fire when it went through here. Everything is short. What a disaster.
It also was a hot fire, really hot.
I'm going around and around Little Rock to the east. Now I'm going to the north. And now I'm going to the west, almost. Janice's house, Chester and Doris Janice, they're still working on it. The fire department is taking care of it. So far, it's still fine. That's the day after. It's bloß scheiße, dass wir nicht die Uhrzeit. Here it said, private property, Abrahams, Courts, and Harris. That's the mailbox from Abrahams and Courts. It's burned, but it's still there. The curtains are still there. So nice to be alive and to be well and have a house the day after. My husband sure worked hard, but it paid off. Big Rock, the big needle curve. So sad. So sad. A car, a house, a whole life. Nancy Myers. Oh, poor Nancy. One big disaster. Very big disaster after another. really big disaster.
And she took her out. She came, Charles, she said, you got to
Irmgard Radcliffe on Big Rock, 81 years old. She took care of this property like she took care of her heart.
Wires for the power pole. And then I went up to my house. And then I had water first. And then when I needed it, I had a good street.
She's Steve's sister. You know who Steve is, my boyfriend for 3 years.
Irmgard Radcliffe. She cannot grasp it. She was not home. Her daughter took her away. A whole life, 28 years.
And she made improvements every year.
Yeah. She sure took care of this property. She had some fish, some carps.
Yeah, they're still alive.
They are?
Yes. Do you know somebody?
I wanna... Oh. Very sad. Irmgard's cactus yard. She left so much. This is all intact. Juergen visited husband-in-law around the swimming pool of Irmgard Radcliffe on Big Rock Drive. Still water in the pool. Still smoldering. You can see the smoke. Very good friend of mine. Irmgard's coys. She took care of them. She nursed them. They're big. Now they have no home to go to.
They need this oxygen.
Yeah.
They need electricity.
Some oxygen and electricity.
We have a little pump in there that should go 24 hours a day.
Oh yeah.
Since there's no pump going, the electricity is off.
How about not the fish and game, but the animal society? They probably would be
They probably
find a place for them.
But we cannot call, we have no telephone. Mike Spot. Mike Hamill. Christian und Rosemarie Wagner am Seaboard.
and said, oh, I'm just a little off the rocker, you know. The tan doesn't come.
Say something.
It's not something to smile about, but at least we're here.
We're on big rock
We're all
drive.
here.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks.
Someone said yesterday for those people who lost the houses is that no one ever wants to be part of their possession. So when you lose your house, now you're free.
Dr. Harris on Little Rock West. Here's our lifesaver for the winter rains. PVC pipe completely melted. Jim and Nancy Abraham. Still smoldering. A brand new deck. Jim and Nancy Abrahams. They're very fine tenants. They were sitting out there and loved it. Loved it so much. Loved the living in Malibu.
That was what I was worried about. See, I thought for sure we had the water, so we could stay in and we got too bad. Glad. Hey, we made it. Good? The whole thing good.
All right. Excellent. Great, great. I'm so happy. It was worth all that effort after all, huh?
That was really, it was just wonderful, just wonderful.
On the outside.
Wood decking and all that was too much. The roof was fine, but the exterior of it.
Yeah.
And the problem was they didn't clear the brush.
Right. See,
You know, they had too many pine
Well, you need to stay in there.
We had some pine trees too, but they were a little bit down, you know.
That's the bad thing. When you do everything that's right and your neighbor does,
You You know what was bad? That black pipe, right?
Yeah, that's bad to breathe. That's real bad.
That was really bad.
So I thought there was like motor oil or old gasoline or something poured down.
Oh no, never. That was just that pipe. But the pipes are all burned. You know? Yeah, so the next time. Our neighbor's house, Jim Abraham's. Now I'm swinging around to our property. To 0400 Little Rock. Over there, the Edison electric company working. You probably can see the hole in the mast. So the mast has to be replaced. We still have no electricity. It's today the second day after. Here again, where the PVC pipe came up. Here our hills, where we just planted last year's some water resistant plants which don't need much water. Again, the Edison company working.
Devastation. Du musst den Fernung einstellen. Hier besser zu sehen, hier,
The noise you just heard was from the generator of our motorhome. We supply the refrigerator and the freezer with it. Here we have a green patch still alive. Here the cord from the motorhome goes down to the house. With the generator we supply the freezer and the refrigerator. That was the supply we put in there for the fire department. There's still something left. This is our entrance. This is the water.
Drinking water.
There's another trash can where we had water, which we used for little flames. And in this flower box I had some pine cones. They started to burn, and the firefighters threw the pot over, but Juergen is putting it back now. Here we have the lantanas. Very, very stringy, dry plant actually, but flowering the whole year, and it's
it's completely charred. In front, there's a succulent doing very well. Here again, the lantana and the lantana which didn't do so well, and the succulent which did very well. This is our fire hose, or the rest of it. Juergen was ready for everything, or is ready for everything. He had this fire hose already for 2 years in the garage, and we had it put to the fire hydrant across the street. But when we really needed it, there was no water, and the fire hose charred and burned. And Juergen is holding the rest of it, and we can throw it away now. Approximately a half a year ago, we had our windows replaced and naturally new window putty put in, and you can see what happened to the putty. The heat was too much. The putty is peeling away. This is in front of the corner of the living room and the bedroom, and the plant is completely charred. Another plant in front of the bedroom. These are the beautiful birds of paradise. I love them so much, and I made many people happy with flowers from my birds of paradise. I have in front of the house 6 plants of those. There you can see it is still smoldering. In the back, I will get a little closer. Here's a little bee house or shed. We call it our bee house because we have some bees in the back. And this house we protected so much. The rain gutters we put on just a month ago melted away. You see it on the ground, and a little bit is still hanging. Here are the hills behind our house. I have these yucca plants which almost seemed like a fire break. I have planted those yuccas approximately 15 years ago. The fire department for a short time after the danger was sitting in our garden chairs. Here again with the garbage cans filled with water. This is our back door. Up there the vents are stuck with old towels. We did that before the fire came. We also wetted the roof down, we wetted the eaves down, I wetted the stucco down. Immediately behind the house we did pretty well, but then all the hills are gone. Here we have the junipers, not too bad, but the middle one burned, really burned badly. The other 4 held up. This one burned badly. in front. Here in front we have the lily of the Nile, which is a bulb plant, completely charred. But we hope, I hope I can cut it off, or I think I can cut it off, and it will be fine. Here again, the melted rain gutter, which came down from up on our shed or bee house. You see the label is still on there. We just had it built. Here are some plants on the one side, completely charred, completely roasted from the heat. In the back, the bees, they were all outside, and Juergen put water on this big stack because on top of it there's a hole burnt in. But the bees are still there. These yucca plants again made a very good fire break for us. Even the eucalyptus is doing fine. The eucalyptus is doing fine because the lower part has no branches. We only left the upper branches on there. It's all empty and was empty before the fire. We cut it that way. Here we get to the smoldering part. Everything is charred around it. Just everything. This is the borderline of our property. Everything just charred. Here we have some succulents which do look very sad. Very sad, and I remembered I watered them the day before the fire. Here's a smoldering part. It is smoldering now for at least 40 hours. In here we had plastic cans with the water supply for bad times. The plastic cans have melted and the drum is still there. Behind there was a pepper tree, beautiful. Just planted it 2 years ago, no, 3 years ago. Burnt to the stump. Here again the yucca, which seemed like they were holding the fire. Across one property, trees, with very big pine trees, and everything is standing there. Next to it, the house burned completely. And next to it, the house burned completely. Here again, what seems to be our fire break. We had this concrete put in approximately 3 months ago. We're so glad it was there. Here's our biggest pine tree on our property. A little sad looking, but I think he made it. Beneath the cactus, other succulents, which look very sad. That's behind the pine tree, below the pine tree. And Juergen took care of the fire here. As a succulent that was burning that fast. Here I had a nice assortment of plants, mostly succulents and cacti, but not much is left. It was very hot on this side of the house, which is the side towards the ocean. We are behind the house. It's all concrete wall. Even behind the wall we have concrete. Some plants look very sad from the heat. The hanging plant did very well. All the debris in the back of the house. I watered down the eaves before and the stucco. Here we have donkey tail doing quite well, but the ivory is looking very sad. Donkey tail in front again. Here we have again a garbage can with water for the sparks.
I was fine.
We also had the fire department down the road. But still they couldn't save this house. This was a but oh, it sure went by. You know, the worst part of it is the PVC pipe.
Electricity back.
My house was laundry.
Yeah, yeah. And that was the black smoke. Stinky stuff.
Dr. Jeff Harris.
It's our mailbox.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Joel's working on? Joel Foreman by the name of Joel? Joel? Yeah.
Jutta Major's house.
Sweetheart, here you can see an old pioneer road. We never knew that was here. Look,
Right.
it goes down here. It turns around. And then down there, all the way to the tip of Big Rock.
This here was a jungle before. Nothing to see but green. That is the Keith house.
We're showing the Big Rock area. Next to Betty Keefe, the house is fine. Next comes Larry Anderson. It's completely burned. Next to it comes, it's still on a Big Rock, Bob and
Strickland.
yeah,
Strickland
the
house.
Strickland house. Next to it is Mary Lou, which is fine. Up above to
Now we're
the
swinging over
to the east
to the-
from Big Rock.
The needle top, the needle turn, everything above is burned. There's Bill Schwartz's house behind. He has two
Houses.
houses. I don't know if I have it in right now, yes. And then it goes over to Dr. Harris. Dr. Harris' house is also burned all the way down to the ground.
Then comes the Abraham's house.
I have right now Janice's house, that is okay. And now I'm swinging down. Yeah, Abraham's house is hardly to see.
Behind the trees there, yeah, the smoke trees. Then a little bit in front.
There on the edge of the hill is the court's house. And now I'm swinging up. There's Larry's house. Still there.
Going
The
further.
skyline, there are several houses gone. I know for sure that both houses from Shyatt,
Ken Shyatt's
Ken
houses
Shyatt's houses are both gone.
burned.
Beautiful houses, all. Each of them we just
And now you see the whole ridge, you know, all burned. This is not directly where the fire came. The fire came from the north.
Well, the fire started to come over the ridge, and then it started really burning below Shyatt's house, and both flames from there and coming over the ridge, they combined, and the whole hill was on fire.
That is behind our house, up to the ridge. Everything burned at once.
The rain of amber was indescribable. Pieces from inch and a half were flying around. And the wind was so strong that branches from our pine tree broke off and flew 30, 40 yards. And therefore the amber, the flying amber, did a hell of a job creating new fires. This is the backcountry. Coming over from
These are the
Las
Santa
Tunas
Monica
Canyon.
Mountains.
Coming over from Las Tunas Canyon.
Right.
California sumac. Supposed to go up like a candle. It didn't do it. This was the road we walked up. From there we did one shot to the left.
Well, let's walk all the way to the tip here, see that?
Okay.
We never could get through here. It was all full with brush. You know, one time we watched the fireworks from here over in Santa Monica. Remember that?
Right. Jim Abrahams group. Edison Company delivers a new pole.
That's the electric pole for the Edison Company.
Thank you, guys. Here's the gas company
At work.
at work.
That island is John Houseman, the actor John Houseman lived there. Now we are going along the ocean. There are the two houses, the one on the ocean and the one on the inland road. It's burned. That was a danger for Gerhard's house, because if amber from that flame fell over to the front neighbors of Gerhard and Rosemary. Heidi. Now we swing to the red roof, and behind.
Well, that roof was on fire 3 times.
Next to the red roof is the Eich's house, and then comes the former
Virgie house.
Virgie house.
Virgie Canfield.
That's the old pioneer road here. How the horse and buggies came along here. We want to go now to the tips where there are 2 more houses next to Utah Major below which have burned.
Okay. Macabre landscaping. Here on this needle turn, Big Rock Drive, 2 more houses ago. And the lucky one is Utah Major. Congratulations. Only allowed for residents and emergency vehicles. Standby headquarters for the fire department. Or you could say on call.
To deal with, and we have people problems that who are sometimes don't live in harmony, try to live in harmony with the wildlife. And as we get closer to the summer months, we're facing problems of rattlesnakes, and we seem to get more calls now on mountain lions in the area, and people who might think it's a mountain lion and maybe it's a German Shepherd, but we have to take those calls too. One of the things that we are very much concerned about that as we approach the summer months is, and I mentioned already, are people dealing with rattlesnakes and rattlesnakes on their porches. And usually when the staff at the shelter starts to thin out around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, we start getting all the calls for the rattlesnakes. We do respond. We are very appreciative of the fire department, who will come to our aid whenever we are not able to send somebody, because at that time of the day when the staff is thinning out, the rattlesnakes come out and we call in the fire department to help us out. And I don't know when they haven't done that. The most common problem that we have in Malibu are people allowing their dogs off leash. People like to jog, people like to walk, and they're carrying their leash in their hand. They don't have their doo-doo bag in their hand, and we get calls from the neighbors about that.